Hey everybody, sorry, a few minutes late here, but we were gonna go ahead and get started. Webinar Jam was doing something funky. So hopefully everybody can get into the room. Let me know if you can see my slides, if you can hear me okay. So I'm Amy Crane, Social Lab Marketing. So excited to be hanging out with you guys today. You know the drill. I'm here every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, answering all of your questions about Facebook advertising and online marketing. So this week, we're not going to talk about Facebook ads. We're going to talk about Pinterest ads. So I mentioned on one of our last webinars that I finally got access to promoted pins on Pinterest. So I've been playing around with them a little bit over the last few weeks. So I've got a full breakdown of what's worked, what didn't work, a couple surprises that popped up. So I'm going to give you the whole scoop, what I think about them. And yeah, so really excited to share that with you. I was actually really excited to finally get access to promoted pins. So I don't know how many of you guys, are any of you guys using promoted pins? Type it in the chat box. I'm just curious to know how many people are using them. So if you don't have access to them or you're wondering how you can start using them, you actually need to go to Pinterest. I'm going to share the link with you at the end. But you need to go sign up to get access to them. And it took a couple weeks, maybe a month or two before I got access. I don't remember when I signed up for it, but you've got to sign up for it first. And then you'll get an email in a couple weeks saying, hey, you've got access to promoted pins, and then you can start creating your first pin. So it took a little bit of time, but really, really excited to test them out. So let's dive into Pinterest promoted pins. Okay, so what is a promoted pin? It's just like a promoted post on Facebook. So right now, Pinterest, this is the only ad type they have. So Facebook's got like ads, conversion ads, clicks to website, promoted posts. It's the only type of ad they've got so far. And it looks just like a regular pin, but you can actually promote. You can pick which pins you want to promote so you get them in front of the right people at the right time. So if you've got a blog post you want people to see, it's a great way to drive some traffic to your site. And people that are really active on Pinterest, they always talk about how much traffic you can get from Pinterest and from pinning and all this cool stuff. So this is just another tool that you can use to help get your content out there. So let's talk a little bit about what worked first. So a couple things that I really like. This is just, first impressions. When I first logged in to create my first post, I immediately saw the tracking, the reporting and tracking, really, really cool. I'm going to show you how they break it down. I really like the way they break it down because you can actually tell exactly where your clicks are coming from. So you're not wasting time or money targeting people that aren't actually clicking on your post. So this is really cool. They've got conversion tracking. I was really happy, really excited to see conversion tracking. So it's great to get clicks to your website, but it's even better if you know, are they signing up for your email list? Are they buying something? So you can create conversion pixels just like you do on Facebook to track for these things. So you can track for checkout, so if someone's buying, leads, registrations, just like you would on Facebook. Really cool. So you can actually follow along and see what people are doing on your website. So far, it's a pretty low cost per click. So it's really great for driving traffic. I wasn't sure what the cost was going to be when I got started. I figured it would be pretty low for clicks. One, because it's a new source, or it's a new ad platform, and two, Pinterest is great for driving traffic, so that kind of makes sense, right? So these are some things that I really, really liked, and I'm going to show you a little bit more as we go, but these are the things that worked. A couple of things that didn't work, and this first one is the one that surprised me the most. You can't send traffic directly to a lead page, a lead capture page, an opt-in page. You can't do it. So one of the first ads that I uploaded, I just decided to do an ad for my 5 Facebook ad templates because that's what converts the best on Facebook. So I wanted to test it out on Pinterest just to see what would happen and what I would get. And so that way I could kind of compare it to Facebook too, right? I thought I read all the rules about what you can and can't promote, and I don't know if I missed it or what, but you cannot send traffic to an opt-in page. You can send them to a blog post or your website, and it's okay if your website has a pop-up, but it can't be just a lead capture page. And their reasoning for this, I wrote in and I was like, hey, because at first I couldn't figure out why they weren't approving my ads. And it took about a week for them to respond. So I think, because it's new, the turnaround time isn't as fast with Facebook. But when I finally got a response, they explained it that they really want to focus on sending people to good content. They want to make sure they're delivering value. So they don't want it to turn into, Pinterest just full of ads, right, trying to draw people to, free templates, free webinars, kind of like what Facebook is right now. So if you're going to try to get people signed up for your email list, you've got to go about this a different way. So I'm going to explain to you how I was able to work around this to get people signed up for my email list. But just keep that in mind when you are creating your post or your promoted pins, that you can't send them directly to your opt-in page. You'll have to do it another way. The other thing, and it's not that this didn't work. I was just kind of surprised to see this. It's manual bidding. So it's not optimized like it is on Facebook. So you have to pick how much you want to spend per click. So we're back to CPC, which it's old school Facebook. So if you were advertising on Facebook before, you remember you'd have to type in how much you wanted to bid per click, and you usually overbid. You bid a little bit higher so that you get more traction, and that will help drive your cost down. So that's pretty much your only option right now is you select, I'm going to pay $2 a click, or I'm going to spend $5 a click. And chances are you're not going to spend that much per click, but that's just what you're willing to pay. That's the most you're willing to pay. I'll talk a little bit more about bidding too, but I was kind of surprised to see that. And of course, not as many targeting options as Facebook, right? With Pinterest, you're targeting based on keywords. So you're just searching for keywords. So you're not able to target other Pinterest pages or boards, nothing like that. It's just keywords. So there's no retargeting, there's no custom audiences, none of that. It's pretty basic right now. I imagine this will change. And as far as I could tell, the targeting still worked pretty well. And, targeting on keywords worked. I don't think it hurts anything, but that's really going to be your only option so far. So, so just keep that in mind. So let's talk a little bit more about targeting. So again, your targeting is based on keywords. So you get to type in, I just typed in Facebook marketing. I don't think I meant to type in Facebook marketing advertising, but that's what we'll go with. So you'll just sit and brainstorm some keywords, some things that people might search for related to your business or your niche. And it could be something broad, and then you can get more specific. I went with, I think you can pick 150 keywords or something insane like that. I did not go that crazy because I think if you've got, if you're targeting that many people, I don't think your ad's going to be effective. So I think I went with 15 or 20. And I got a little excited because what happens is you type in the keyword you want to search for, and then it brings up related terms. You can see that over here on the right side where it says add on. It's got marketing, advertising, Facebook quotes. So I would type something in, and then it would pull up related terms, and I would see something in related terms. I go, ooh, that's a good idea. And then I would add that to my list. So it's cool that it pulls up these related terms and gives you suggestions. So it can kind of help in the process if you're feeling a little stuck and you're not really sure who to target. I'm mostly stuck with Facebook advertising, Facebook marketing, social media marketing, online marketing, those types of terms, just to see what was going to work. So again, I think I pulled maybe 15 or 20. I might have done 20. I'd have to go back and look, but I didn't get too crazy with it. I stuck with Facebook, social media, and online marketing. So you'll type in your keywords, and it'll tell you, just like on Facebook, how big your audience is, the reach. But the really cool thing is once you have your ads up and going, and this is just a screenshot I took of one of the first ads that I ran, it breaks down. So these were some of the words the keywords that I was using. So social media marketing, Facebook marketing, social media, online marketing ideas. And you can see it gives you how many impressions, so how many people saw your pin, and then it'll break down how many repins you got from that post and how many clicks. So you can actually go through and you can start to, you can delete any keywords that aren't performing for you. So their tracking's pretty up to date. You'll start to see these numbers after your ad has been going for about 24 hours, which is, that's pretty much in line with Facebook. It takes some time to start to see the numbers and see what type of impressions and clicks and conversions you're getting. So it's the same thing here. But after that first 24 hours, you'll get these numbers. So I could go in and start deleting the keywords that aren't performing. So that's going to make your ad more effective. And it's also, as you move forward creating new ads, okay, I'm just going to focus maybe on this handful of keywords because that's what's performed well. So it's really great. I love, love, love that they do this because on Facebook, what age they are, if they're male, female, what country, if they're on a mobile device, all that good stuff. But you don't know which pages. If you're targeting interests, you don't necessarily know which interests are performing the best. So I think this is a really cool feature, and I think it's something that'll make, you can use to make your promoted pins more effective. So really, really like that. Of course, your other targeting options, you can narrow down by location. So if you just want to target people, in your city or state, you can do that. You've got language, device, so mobile phones, mobile devices, all of that good stuff, just like you do on Facebook. And of course, gender, so male, female. You've got those same options. So if you're a local business, you can still target, based on location, which is really cool. Now here is the part where I was talking about your bidding when you're setting up your bidding. So it says maximum CPC bid. So it defaults to $1, I think. So here's where you'll type in and you can say $2, $4, $5. And so you might have to play around with this a little bit, but don't be as scared to put in a bigger number. I think I started with $2 a click on my first ad. I just wanted to see, so I just went with $2. Most of the time, you're not going to end up paying that much. I ended up paying about 38 cents a click. So I bid $2 and I was getting 38 cents a click. I was pretty happy with that. Now, if you are bidding $2 or $5 and it's costing you that much just to get a click, it's probably not worth it. I would go in and start playing with your ads a little bit more. But this is your only bidding option. So there's no optimized CPM. There's no optimizing for conversions or anything like that. Like you have these choices on Facebook. It's just going to be this CPC bid. But don't be scared to put in a bigger number here because hopefully that's going to get you out into the feed faster, and then it's going to help drive your costs down. And you can always come in here and update this and change this number if you need to. But again, I started with $2 and that was totally fine. So you can go with $2 or you can start with $1. So let's talk about the actual ad that I created for this. So I mentioned that you can't create an ad to go to an opt-in page. So what I did instead, I created a blog post talking about, how to create ads that convert. So I walk through, writing headlines, copy, images, all that good stuff. So it's just like a really long blog post. But within that blog post, I have lead pages. I think a lot of people have lead pages. You can create a lead box, which is basically just a link you drop into your blog post. So when someone clicks on that link, instead of sending them to the opt-in page, it pops up a box so they can sign up right then and there for your email list. So it's really easy, really simple. It makes it really easy on your user or your reader to sign up for your email list. So I created this blog post where I'm talking about, here's how you want to create an ad, and these are the type of images, really walking people through it. And so throughout that blog post where it made sense, I'd say, hey, and if you want to see actual examples, click here to sign up for my free Facebook ad templates. So I actually got a couple opt-ins that way. I wasn't sure if it was going to work. So just off the bat, this was the first ad that I ran. Not doing a lot of testing or tweaking at this point, you guys, but it's getting 38 cents per click from the ad to the blog post. And I was spending about $3.50 per opt-in. So if you think about it, on Facebook, you usually spend anywhere from $1 to $4 per opt-in, depending on your niche and your market. that $350 kind of falls right in there. And I'm sure that this cost can come down, right? I just wanted to see if it would work. I just wanted to see if I actually could get any signups from it. And once I saw that, I've gone and I've made some more changes. So now I'm testing and tweaking out some different things, making some changes to the blog post, to the image, to see if I can get that cost down. But I think that's pretty promising. I actually was kind of surprised when I actually saw some of those opt-ins come in. One of the things I do want to mention, because it took me a minute to figure this out. If you want to see your conversions when you log in to your tracking and you're pulling up the reporting and it's telling you how many clicks you get, it doesn't actually tell you on that report your conversions. There's a little button when you go in there, and I should have created a slide for this, but I didn't. It says export data. So you'll need to click the export data button. It's up in the right-hand corner. And that's where you can actually tell how many conversions you're getting. So it'll pull a report. It'll tell you how many repins, all these other numbers that aren't on that tracking sheet when you first log in, but it'll tell you how many conversions you're getting. So it's a little annoying that you've got to download a spreadsheet every single time, but at least that information's there. So you can go in and figure out how many conversions you're getting. So 38 cents per click, $3.50 per opt-in. It's a pretty good start. So I'm going to keep playing with it and see, if I can get that cost down a little bit more. So if you are wanting to use Facebook to get emails, or you want to use Pinterest to get emails, then I would suggest doing something similar, creating a blog post, walking people through how to do it, giving them some information, and then giving them your opt-in is, here's more information, or here's where you can learn more. You can get these templates, download this. Because before on my blog post, you could sign up for my email list, but it's like most blog posts. It was down at the bottom. And I don't think I really get that many signups just from that blog post, that little blurb at the bottom of my blog post. So creating those lead boxes, I think, really helps to get some more traffic there. So you can definitely test that out. I'm not going to do this with all of my blog posts, but I think it makes sense to pick a couple blog posts to use just for Pinterest, just for conversions. I still am going to use Pinterest to drive traffic to my blog because the cost per click is so low that I think it's going to be a great way to drive traffic. But just keep that in mind. If you were wanting to use Pinterest to build your list, you're going to have to go about it, kind of a roundabout way, but it works. All right, so how can you use Pinterest, or when to use it? Obviously, it's great to drive traffic to your blog. You can get pretty low click. And from what I'm finding and what I'm seeing as far as metrics and numbers go, the people that I'm getting from Pinterest seem to be quality people. They're clicking to go to the blog post, and then they're staying on my site a little bit longer, and they're actually reading the blog post, which is good, right? So seems to be really quality traffic. So far, from what I can tell, it seems to be pretty good. This is also going to be great, obviously, for retail and e-commerce sites. I'm really excited to test this out on some of my retail clients because it's a great way to drive traffic to your site. And you could kind of do the same approach where you could have a little tutorial or a little how-to, so you can show people how to use your product. So you're providing that value, and then on that same page, they actually have the opportunity to buy. So I think it's going to be really good for retail. Of course, it's great for brand awareness and content sharing. You spend a lot of time creating that content, so you want to make sure that people are actually seeing it. And when you use a promoted pin, you're actually getting your content out there, right? So there's a lot of competition on Pinterest. I know anytime I log in, it's just like pin after pin after pin. So this is going to help get your content in front of the right people. So just like Facebook, I think it pays to promote your content, your blog posts, your videos, whatever it is. I think it pays to get it out there in front of the right people. So if you're driving traffic to your blog post, I think it's going to be a really great way to get more people to your site. All right, so some tips for creating promoted pins. Obviously, Pinterest is, it's a visual platform. So you've got to pay extra attention to your images. Images are important on Facebook, but I think they're even more important on Pinterest. So you really want to take some time, pull some images, think of anything that, you know, evokes some type of emotion. We've talked about that before, or an image that readers connect to. Anything that's kind of funky or different will probably do well, bright colors. But scroll through Pinterest, see what images catch your eye, and then you can go create a couple different images. So the thing I like about Pinterest too is it works pretty fast. You can see, you know, if an image is working or if it's not working, and you can swap it out for something else. The image that I used for my ad, I just whipped that up. Like, I don't think that's a great image. I just wanted to test it and see. And it actually got decent clicks. So now I'm going back. I'm switching out my images, trying to find some images that are actually a little bit cooler than the original image that I use. But you want to make your image clear. Make sure it's a nice high-res photo. So if you've got to buy a stock photo, go for it. And think about, you know, it's not just going to be the people in your audience that are seeing these pins, but it's also going to be, if they repin it, right, then all of their connections, their friends, their followers are going to see it too. So you want to make sure you pick an image that that's clear, that people can look at it and say, okay, yes, I want to click on this. That it clearly communicates either the blog post, the video, the product you're sending them to. But you want to make it really clear so even people outside of your targeting, they understand, they know what the pin is, and if it's something that interests them, then they can click on it too. So think about it that way too. It's going to go out to more than just the people you target, because as you get more repins, it's going to get more organic reach that way. Of course, don't be afraid to mix it up. So the great thing is, because the reporting and the tracking is pretty up to date, it's real time. So you can update and swap out images as much as you want and as often as you want. So if you upload something, you'll have to give it 24 hours to get those numbers. But after that, you know, if an image isn't working or you feel like it's not getting as many clicks as you want, then you can swap it out for something different. So play around with your images. I think that's going to be the most important part. I know when I'm on Pinterest, it's always the image that catches my attention. I rarely read that little description underneath the picture. Something that you want to keep an eye on with Pinterest that's a little bit different than Facebook, and this comes from Pinterest. So per Pinterest, images and promoted pins cannot feature commercial and functional calls to action. So you've got to be really careful about adding a call to action to your promoted pins because they may not get approved. So on Facebook, you can say, buy now, click here. You know, you're supposed to do that on Facebook because that actually helps with your conversions. But on Pinterest, they may not approve your ad. So for mine, I actually did not put a call to action on my image. So I just put 5 Facebook ad templates that rock, and that was it. I didn't say click here, buy now, or whatever, which you can't buy it, but I didn't say click here, get on the list or anything like that. I just went with it, and I don't think it hurt my conversions, but that'll be something to test out. So instead, you can use what they call a soft call to action on your images. So you could say something like, check this off of your list and grab my 5 templates. That'll make your day a little bit easier. That was terrible, but you get it. It's hard, I think, to write a good soft call to action, but you can't just come out and say, hey, buy now, hey, click here, kind of thing. But you can use your direct call to action in the description below the image. So that little description you can say, buy now, click here. So you can include that in the description. It just cannot be on the image. So you've got to be careful there. No limits as far as text or anything like that. It's just that call to action, which I was kind of surprised because I feel like on Pinterest, when you put up a pin, they always say, you know, add your call to action to the image. But if you're going to turn it into an ad, you can't do that. So back to bidding, another tip for this is don't be afraid to start your bidding high. Don't be afraid to get aggressive with it. So you can start at $2, $5, whatever. but keep an eye on it. Hopefully what happens is you put in your bid at $2, $3, $5, whatever, and that's going to help your ad get some traction. It's going to get it out into the feed so people are seeing it, they're commenting, they're posting on it, and that'll help drive your costs down. So you can always adjust this based on how your ads are performing. So like everything, I just recommend checking in on it, at least once a day, just seeing how it's doing. And if you need to make any changes, you can make those changes. And if not, your ad's good. Just let it keep running. Of course, you want to pay attention to your keywords. So make sure you're picking keywords that apply to your industry and your niche. And you want to monitor and optimize keywords by removing the irrelevant ones that generate impressions but not clicks. So you're weeding out the keywords that aren't doing anything for you, and then you can focus your budget just on the keywords that are performing. So this is going to start to drive your costs down too. So that original ad with the 38 cents and the 350 and opt-in, that was before I started playing around with the keywords. That was just, I let that ad run for 2 or 3 days just to see what would happen. And that was what I got back from it. So now I've started to go in and started to tweak and play with some of the keywords. So really cool that you can do that. I love that feature. All right, so if you guys have got questions, go ahead and type your questions in. But if you don't have access to Promoted Pins, this is going to be the link that you can go to. And or you can just type in Promoted Pins. You can Google it and it'll pull up the page. So you'll just type in your email, and then Facebook, of course I said Facebook, Pinterest will send you an email once you've got access to it. So again, I think I signed up. It was between a month and 2 months ago. We'll say 6 weeks ago, and I just got access to it. But you'll get an email saying, hey, you've got access to it. And I think, you guys, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm almost positive that it's only available to businesses in the US right now. So if you're outside of the US, I don't think you have, you'll get access to it just yet. So businesses within the US, go here, sign up for it, and you should get access soon. All right, so let's see. Okay, questions. We've got just a couple. So it doesn't look like anybody's using Promoted Pins yet. So I definitely think you guys should check it out once you get access to it. Of course, I'll keep you posted on what I'm finding. So how much do you recommend budgeting for Pinterest, and can you spend $5 a day like on Facebook? Yeah, so I was testing this out. So I split it up. I created a couple different campaigns and I set them each to $5 a day. So you can definitely start with $5 a day. I'm not sure just yet how much you'll actually need to spend to actually see, some really good return on it. But like anything else, I would start with $5 a day and see if it's worth it and see if it's going to work for you. It may not, and it might, you might be able to get away with spending $5 a day and it might work awesome for you. So just like Facebook, I recommend doing the $5 a day thing. What about a promoted pin to a video series? So it's going to depend. I'm not sure if you're sending people to an opt-in page or not, but if you're sending them to an opt-in page, you're not going to be able to do that. So you could send them to a page where the videos, like we've got the videos embedded on a site and they can watch the videos that way. So if you've got some videos you want to share, you want people to see them, then you could do it that way. But I don't think you're not going to be able to send them just to an opt-in page to promote a video series if it's like a lead gen kind of thing. Okay, so that's it for the questions, you guys. So go sign up for the promoted pins. Let me know when you get access. I'd love to hear how you guys are using them and how they're working for you. And I will definitely keep you posted. I'm still tweaking and playing around with them. So as I learn more, I will definitely keep you guys in the loop. So next week, we'll be back. My good friend Trajan from the Invincible Startup is going to be here. He's going to talk about lead funnels and email marketing. So really excited to have him. So keep an eye on your email. I will send out all the details next week. So hope you guys have an awesome week, and I will see you guys next Tuesday.